Well, our beloved, we are going to continue on to lesson number 3. Please do transcribe the other two just so you have them in written format. It will be helpful. So we're going to now build from the ground up. We had said that the chakras for the multidimensional individuals would be the Mobius strip or the infinity symbol. It matters because it regenerates its own energy. It creates balance between the left and the right, the inside and the outside, hence the Mobius strip. Number 2, it creates balance within your mind's eye as well. Think of the eyes. The eyes also, in essence, are surrounded by the Mobius strip. It matters. Number 3, we are now moving you into the multidimensional beings that humans are evolving into, which means that your energy body will naturally shift or amend itself. It is transmuting what is no longer working and adapting into or evolving into what is needed or necessary. Multidimensional sight requires that you be able to see the energy fields in some form, that you be able to notice and experience the energy forms, and lastly, that you can transmute them. It is one thing to see an energy field. It is another thing to regenerate, regenerize, to move, shift, and alter for the betterment. We do have an absolute hardcore restriction that if anybody attempts to use this information to harm anybody, we will negate it, we will transmute it into something positive, because the whole point of sharing this information is to protect others, not to harm them, which in part is why it has been held back for so long. The mystery schools, if you will, the sacred, secret societies. So now let us move into what this looks like. Think of a grinder, a drill, something that has a blade, that has a circular pattern. It is much like the Kundalini energy that arises or circulates around the spine, going from the root chakra up to the crown chakra. There is profound purpose in this. So for now, we will just look at it as a single blade, if you will, that spirals around the core to grind or drill its way up. It starts at the root and slowly transgresses or moves through each chakra or point or energy field. It simply layers in the topography of the soil to allow the spring of fresh water from the deep wells hidden below the surface to come up and bubble up on the ground for others to enjoy, experience, savor. It requires a systemic and systematic rising of the Kundalini energy. If it happens too quick, you will have more of an explosion versus a slow drilling from the bottom up. We prefer from the bottom up because it contains the energy. Therefore, you work on your root chakra, then the second and the third, and so forth and so on. By the time you reach the heart chakra, much of the energetic imprint up above is already awakened in certain areas in certain ways. And once you blast through the heart chakra, which is normally the hard core that is difficult to breach, because it requires you to shift from fear to trust, which is why you need to ideally have addressed the first 3 root chakras, because they are grounded more in the fear, if you will. And once that happens, then the throat chakra begins to evolve. The third eye will come online in a stronger fashion. And then finally, the crown chakra, which is just the divine knowing that we are one. and it is a journey. So we talked about that with the Mobius strip, and when you look from the top down, it is also somewhat like a Christmas tree, meaning that it is conical in shape. Not literally, but just figuratively. That way you can see each of the Mobius strips that are below the one before as it rotates. It is a wheel that spins in the wind, if you will. Now, let us move on to the next emblem, right? The emblem is where you ask, what is the best energetic imprint to describe who I am today? And that snapshot with time for an individual will have meaning. And for somebody like you who reads for others, you can provide them with that until they have the skill themselves. Number 3, let us do the soul vibration. It is just simply asking, where am I at in my evolutionary path? And then Source will provide a word, an image of something. And you just go with that. You don't question, you don't overanalyze. You accept it as a form of truth, even if you feel it is just your imagination, making stuff up. It doesn't matter. And number 4, start flapping your arms like a bird. And even though you will never literally be transmuted into a bird, as you do that and tune into the essence of a bird, you will begin to feel the movements within your arms as well as within your body. And you can close your eyes and just visualize yourself flying or gliding through the air. It is an experience, not a reality that must be lived. And then 5th, we just wish for humanity to explore its own energetic imprint. You cannot evolve if you don't put time into the process. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you need to spend hours in the gym. You need to eat well. You need to drink well. You need to sleep well. You need to have the entire holistic body be in alignment. But you must actually lift weights every day in a particular format, in a particular order, in a particular methodology, in order to achieve your goals. There is nothing different or unique about being an energy worker. You must put in the hard work. The more you practice, the better you will get, the more you will recognize the patterns, and the more your own energetic imprint will shift and mold into this. And then others will see and feel your experience and expertise, not because of what you say, but because of how you present. Again, holistically. We will share more on this, but we are really excited to begin this new journey to encourage individuals to build on their own imprint, to empower themselves, and to take this seriously. And for those who don't wish to, it's beautiful as well. There is no judgment. It just means next time. And so it is. Namaste.